When we are most alone is when we embrace another's loneliness. The power to change your life lies in the simplest of steps. I believe that words are strong, that they can overwhelm what we fear when fear seems more awful than life is good. I speak gibberish to the civilized world, and it replies in kind. Deeply respecting yourself is the first step toward having a deep respect for others. There isn't an end point to excellence where you have it and you can stop. Being your best self means keeping on trying. In prayer, it is better to have a heart without words than words without a heart. Don't leave a piece of jewelry at his house so you can go back and get it later. He may be with his real girlfriend. It's not so much the journey that's important, as is the way that we treat those we encounter and those around us along the way. It is hard work and great art to make life not so serious. Dead yesterdays and unborn tomorrows, why fret about it, if today be sweet? It is only after the deepest darkness that the greatest joy can come. We have now sunk to a depth at which restatement of the obvious is the first duty of intelligent men. Stand behind the stories that are real, not just real. Nothing has to be true forever, just for long enough. If I had a shiny gun, I could have a world of fun speeding bullets through the brains of the folks that cause me pains, smiley face. We get swallowed up by the illusion that unless we can find a place to belong, we are going to be all alone in the world. Searching outside of you is samsara. Searching within you leads to nirvana. The truth that makes men free is for the most part the truth which men prefer not to hear. The best lies are based on the truth, at least in part. I never did give them hell. I just told the truth, and they thought it was hell. The difference between the impossible and the possible lies in a person's determination. Learn to live deeply and realize that all experiences, good or bad, are transient, and opportunities for liberation. Great achievement is usually born of great sacrifice and is never the result of selfishness. Ignore all hatred and criticism. Live for what you create and die protecting it. It is much easier to be brave if you do not know everything. Hope is not a feeling of certainty that everything ends well. Hope is just a feeling that life and work have a meaning. When the going gets weird, the weird turn professional. With one day's reading, a man may have the key in his hands. There is something fascinating about science. One gets such wholesale returns of conjecture out of such a trifling investment of fact. Life provides chances to open your heart all the time. Sometimes small things can become very large, indeed. Life is a drama full of tragedy and comedy. You should learn to enjoy the comic episodes a little more. Do not set aside your happiness. Do not wait to be happy in the future. The best time to be happy is always now. In matters of style, swim with the current. In matters of principle, stand like a rock. The more you talk about them, the more important they will feel. The more you listen to them, the more important you will make them feel. It used to be about trying to do something. Now it's about trying to be someone. Dedicate yourself to what gives your life true meaning and purpose. Make a positive difference in someone's life. A rock pile ceases to be a rock pile the moment a single man contemplates it, bearing within him the image of a cathedral. But better to get hurt by the truth than comforted with a lie. He alone is free who lives with free consent under the entire guidance of reason. Sometimes the sound of silence is the most deafening sound of all. To acquire the habit of reading is to construct for yourself a refuge from almost all the miseries of life. For those who know the value of an exquisite taste of solitary freedom, the act of leaving is the bravest and most beautiful of all. The wealth required by nature is limited and is easy to procure, but the wealth required by vain ideals extends to infinity. Maybe you're a firework. Come on, show him what you're worth. Firework. There's no greater show on earth than observing human nature. There's no backward and no forward, no day other than this. You fill your card as you go, and that's that. There is a fire against us, and in the end, the fire could burn us or ignite us into an unstoppable force. Whatever their future, at the dawn of their lives, men seek a noble vision of man's nature and of life's potential. It's easy to talk big, but the important thing is whether or not you clean up the shit. I made up my mind not to care so much about the destination and simply enjoy the journey. Embrace being perfectly imperfect. Learn from your mistakes and forgive yourself. You'll be happier. One of the greatest tragedies in life is to lose your own sense of self and accept the version of you that is expected by everyone else. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Success goes to the ones who do. Get up. Show up. Throw up if you have to. Do it afraid, but do it no matter. If fate doesn't make you laugh, you just don't get the joke. Most of the basic material a writer works with is acquired before the age of 15. Never respond to an angry person with a fiery comeback, even if he deserves it. Don't allow his anger to become your anger. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is reluctance. To say that the first casualty of war is truth is to miss the rather more important point that a principal weapon of war is lies. Just keep moving forward and don't give a shit about what anybody thinks. Do what you have to do for you. The truth is never what you want it to be, little fox. But instead of spending our lives running towards our dreams, we are often running away from a fear of failure or a fear of criticism. I can't really act the way I want to act or say what I want to say all the time. And a lot of times, I cover that up with a smile. Sometimes you have to take 2 steps back to take 10 forward. You never know who you're inspiring or uninspiring. People notice more than you think. In life, there are 2 things which are dependable: the pleasures of the flesh and the pleasures of literature. Hold on to forgiveness, for it frees your heart of resentment and opens the door to healing and peace. Those who are without compassion cannot see what is seen with the eyes of compassion. I would rather live in a world where people shout, "This is wrong," than live in a world with superheroes saving the day. It was the living who ignored the strange and wonderful because life was too full of the boring and mundane. The thermometer of success is merely the jealousy of the malcontents. All shall be done, but it may be harder than you think. Of course, there is no formula for success, except perhaps an unconditional acceptance of life and what it brings. It is not easy to keep silent when silence is a lie. The end may justify the means as long as there is something that justifies the end. They blossomed. They did not talk about blossoming. Even as your body betrays you, your mind denies it. It's only after you've stepped outside your comfort zone that you begin to change, grow, and transform. Wanting to be someone else is a waste of the person you are. Who you are tomorrow begins with what you do today. Nobody ever lives their life all the way up except bullfighters. There's no way you can kill someone and get to the other side of the experience unchanged. The highest activity a human being can attain is learning for understanding, because to understand is to be free. Where your talents and the needs of the world cross, there lies your vocation. Because, sometimes, things happen to people and they're not equipped to deal with them. Part of the maturity of the sciences is an appreciation of which questions are best left to other disciplinary approaches. For every good reason there is to lie, there is a better reason to tell the truth. Our power lies in our small daily choices, one after another, to create eternal ripples of a life well lived. Speaking the truth is the main attribute of a pure-hearted person. We come spinning out of nothingness, scattering stars like dust. Kananji yang lalu, hadapi yang baru dengan pengetahuan. Of all knowledge, the wise and good seek mostly to know themselves. The greatest discovery of any generation is that a human can alter his life by altering his attitude. The life where nothing was ever unexpected, or inconvenient, or unusual. The life without color, pain, or past. If there is any truth in the world, it lies when I'm with you. Do every act of your life as though it were the very last act of your life. As for methods of prayer, all are good, as long as they are sincere. The most powerful relationship you will ever have is the relationship with yourself.